and welcome to the Fat Squirrel Speaks. My name is Amy Beth, also known as the Fat Squirrel, on Ravelry and Plurk. You can find show notes at thefatsquirrel.com if you are so interested. It is there. Skipper. This is episode number 11. 11. And today is April. Dang it, it's May. It's May 7th. I tell you what, people, I'm a hot mess. I know it's May. We had May Day. It's May Day. Maple. I know it's May. I sit in front of this little box. I'm like, bloop, 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 bloop. Don't know what month it is. Okay. Sorry, kids. This is in fact May 7th. Okay. Let's move on to something I know about. Knitting. So we have lots to talk about today because basically I have been knitting a lot this week. I don't know what's going on. Last week I told you that my daughter has found the Bear Gillis, is that his name? Anyway, the Man vs. Wild, and she's all about Man vs. Wild. Well, she's not into Man vs. Wild this week, but last week when she still was into Man vs. Wild, we went to the Gander Mountain store, which is like a Cabela's Bass Pro Sports. It's an outdoorsy store for the hunters and the fishers and the campers. Because my husband needed socks. That's all. That's why. They have the socks he likes there. So we totally went there, and they have like a whole display of Bear Gillis, like crazy adult, like knives and machetes. Like I'm not even, we live in Indiana, people. Not only Indiana, but like Indianapolis, Indiana. There is no need. There is no bushwhacking to be done. There is no need for this machete that they had, but my daughter was like, oh, it's like as tall as her torso. Really? Really? Kid? Anyway, I don't even know why. How did I get on that? Oh, I was talking about how much I've been knitting this week. I have no idea how much. I don't know how I'm knitting, but like there's been like some weird time. Oh, I know part of the reason, but I'll talk about that later. But like, I don't know why. There's been so much other stuff to do. We did gardening and we did a whole thing. We planted strawberries and beans, and I moved a rose bush unsuccessfully. There was a rose bush hanging over my like raised beds that I put my vegetables in, and it was really just out of control this year. Like we have very little shade in our backyard. Other way around. We have very little sun in our backyard, and so my plants are always like very anemic and like me. So this rose bush was just was taking all the spotlight. So I was like, I'll just move the rose bush on a random Monday morning. Clearly a great idea. By myself, with a 5-year-old. She's of no use. So, don't do that, people. In case you weren't sure, don't try to move a rose bush by yourself. It's got prickles. Duh. So anyway, I moved the rose bush. It's totally moved, but it's looking very sad. I think I may have killed it, which is fine. I mean, it smells nice. It's fine for like a week, and then the rest of the year I'm like, why is that thing there? It's annoying, and it pops my kids. My kid gets those balls that are in like that giant bin at Target or whatever. She loves those balls. And every time she plays with them outside, somebody kicks it into the rose bush and it pops. Because the rose bush is tough. Like, it can break an entire ball. It's insane. So anyway. Oh my gosh, again, back to the story. I have a lot of product this week. I think there was just like a random, like, lots of things getting finished at once thing. I don't know what happened. But, boy, let's just talk about it. Here I am just rambling about nothing. Whatever. I'm out of control. And then you're used to that. Some of you can kind of enjoy it. Yay, you. So, welcome back, those people who enjoy my crazy face. Hello to all of you new people who are trying us for the first time this week. That was a royal us. I don't know what that was about. I'm more than just one lady. So, yay, you. Thanks. I know there's a lot of podcasts out there. It's like a full-time job keeping up with them all. It's out of control. But, so I appreciate you investing your time to watch the squirrel. I just talked about myself in third person. The royal we, or they, whatever. And the third person in like the span of 35 seconds. Anyway. Thank yous this week. I have a thank thank you for the lovely Tracy, which I totally forgot to send out last week because I had so many thank yous. There was so much awesomeitude that I should just pretend like I was putting off to spread out the thank yous. But really, I had it on my little notes, but bing. So thank you, Tracy. She donated to the podcast. Thank you very much. It is much appreciated. If you would like to donate to the podcast, you can do so at theprattsquirrel.com. Also, thank you to my fellow podcaster, Becca of Knit Bites. She's doing the gratitude cal. She's having a really good experience. And in way of thank you, she sent me her Brachiosaurus sock pattern. Brachiosaurus. See, I said it the right way. It's Brachiosaurus. Which isn't that cute. Self-striping yarn and Brontosaurus charting at the top. I love it. Very cute. I'm not showing my daughter. I'm not making them for her because she'll outgrow them in no time, and then I'll spend all that time in self-striping yarn and she'll outgrow them, and I'm just saying. She is 5 and she already wears a size 2 shoe. Like, that's insane. She's a mutant. That's all I'm saying. I'm not making it for her. Don't judge me. So yes. Also, in the way of thank yous, the lovely Butterfly Bush is totally offering her viewers a 10% off discount in her Etsy shop. You can use the code BUTTERFLY10. Go check it out. She's got pretty stuff. And for you for you UK people, she is local to you. So if you're all like, oh my gosh, all those American Etsy sellers with their expensive and exorbitant shipping rates to the UK, but you have people there. She's one of them. And then she sent me a prize. I love prizes, especially when they're pretty. Guess what? Do you love it? This is her colorway Fresh Zing, and isn't it zingy-tastic? This is the thing. Not only is it zingy-tastic and like all citrusy goodness of love and joy and happiness, but it also, I don't know, there's something about this, it's almost like a patina-y thing. Like, I'm really getting into the coppers who might turn green, or the greens who would have been copper, and it has some of that in it, which I am enjoying a lot. So I love it. And this is 24% nylon, 75% superwash wool, 430 yards. And look, she even sent, and I'm sorry, you won't be able to see it because I don't have the autofocus on, because I moved too fast. Too fast for this technology! But she even sent me like cute little stitch marker dudes. They're right there. You can't see them, but one's a heart. Well, it's one, but they're a heart and a little star together. And one of them says, "Made with love," and the other one says, "Just for you." I love special packaging. It makes me so excited. It was also wrapped, but I had to open it up like a crazy cannibal as soon as I saw it. I don't know why cannibal sprang to mind. It was not wrapped in human flesh. Decorative tissue paper. Just for clarification. So anyway, I'm so excited. I can't wait to make something with it. It's very pretty. And she's offering you 10% off. And not only does she have beautiful yarn, she also has roving and project bags and stitch markers. She's out of control. That's all I'm saying. So, she's awesome sauce. Go check her out. Okay. Finished objects. Are you ready for it? God, there's a lot. Not real. I mean, I say that. It's a lot for me. It's not like, whatever, it's a lot for me. It's a lot. Toot my horn. Toot. Anyway, I finished my kid's socks. Now see, I just 2 minutes ago said so I wasn't going to make her socks. I'm not making her fancy socks. These are socks made with the egg dyed yarn. The egg. Oh my gosh. The food coloring, no, the egg dyeing. You know, the Easter and the eggs and stuff. That's yarn. Really, people, I'm sorry. We went to the zoo today. I think I got a little bit of the brain burn. Like, I'm fair. I wore sunblock, but I think maybe the UV may have penetrated my little noggin. It made me more confused about life than normal, which is terrifying. But we had a great time. And they turned on their sprinkler park. They have like not like a full-on water park with water slides and a pool, but they have like a whole like it's just like shoots of water, and the kids just running around it like maniacs. It was awesome. And by the way, there were totally school groups there, and the school groups let their kids run through there. I was so happy for those kids. Because I don't know if you remember going to the zoo. I did not go to the zoo when I was a kid, but anytime you went to anything as a school trip when you were a kid, there was all this cool stuff to do that you didn't get to do because you were on a school trip. But they totally let their kids like run crazy through the water sprinklers. I was so excited for them. I'm sure the bus drivers were a little miffed. They had all those wet seats, but... And maybe the kids who rode those buses home from school that night were a little bit like, why is my seat wet? But whatever. I was excited for those kids because that was awesome. Surprise! You get to play in the water on your field trip to the zoo, which is already awesome. Psh. So anyway, I'm a little bit more than normal because of that. I think. Maybe. So anyway, there's the socks. See, look at her giant feet, dude. She wanted the short ones. I was more than happy to make long ones, but she decided she wanted the short ones. I said, fine. Let's work for me. I dig it. Finished object numero dos. I don't know if you recall last week, I totally showed you some handspun I had done in a beautiful pumpkin-y colorway by the lovely Cloud Lover yarns. They're not called Cloud Lover yarns. It's Cloud Lover. It's probably like Fiber Arts or something like that. But anyway, Cloud Lover. I totally knew with it. Shut up, I know, I just made it. I made a cow. Look how cute. Look, it's a slouchy hat. It's the Starving Artist by the beautiful Laura Lenneman. I'm usually not that much of a hat person, but I had this handspun and I just had enough for a hat. And I was just like, oh, I'm gonna just do it. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna knit it. So I did, and I like it. Isn't it cute? It's a free pattern, yo. I didn't make the full Saatchi version because I didn't have quite enough. The regular tam is 7 till and again, it's a free pattern. I'm not cheating, people. You knit 7 inches until you start the decreases, but I didn't have quite enough yarn. So it's 7 inches of the tam. I want to do the slouchy, but the slouchy's 9. I did like 8 because I didn't have enough yarn to get to 9, and I'm very pleased with the result. I like it. It covers my ears. And then it was so fun to make because I haven't made a hat in a while. They're super fast, yay! Because it's bulky yarn, and I got to knit it on size 9s, and it's literally like a night and a half worth of knitting, maybe. Like, it's a couple shows worth of knitting. And the best thing is, I loved it, and I was like, that looks like a lot of purling in the round, which I am not fond of. So I just made it inside out, people. That's what I did. And so every time there was a K, I just put a P in. And every time there was the P, I totally just put a K in. So the pattern, the again, free pattern, not cheating. The most of the pattern is purl 4, it's knit 1 through the back loop, purl 4. So what did I do? I purled 1 through the back loop and I knitted 4. And then when I was all done, I just turned it inside out to get this super awesome poppy ribbiness. I love versatile patterns that make me happy. That's all I'm saying. And also I did not do the regular shorter size because it was very pumpkin heady looking. When I tried on the 7 inches, it was just like, oh, I have a pumpkin head. Where's my little green spout to put on there? So if you're needing one of those pumpkin head patterns, you got some orange yarn, just do the shorter version and you're hooked up. That's all I'm saying. So that was fun and festive. Cast on and finished. Yay. Oh my gosh, also. Oh. So as not to end on a bad note, I will show you this one. Well, it's not really a bad note, but you know what I mean. So as not to be a Debbie Downer, I will show you. I finished my color affection. Fail. Capital F, capital A, capital I, capital L. Fail. Those are lowercase. So, whatever. I knew I was taking a risk. I mean, I did not completely explicitly share with you that I was taking a risk because I didn't want to worry you. But I knew I was taking a risk. It is written for a fingering weight. I forged on with the sport. I checked my gauge. My gauge was taller, but I thought, That'll just make it deeper. I'm down with that because I'm a big girl and a little bit bigger is always fine. And it wasn't like crazy off. It was just like a little bit off. So I thought, I'll forge ahead. It'll make it a bigger shawl. I'm down with that. Crazy too big. I'm 5'8" and a big lady. Still too big. It would be too big for like, I don't know, that. I'm about to make a Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling reference. Does anybody remember Glow? No, so I will avoid that reference. But if you do, there was a wrestler on there who was a very big lady. It might have worked for her. Anyway. I'm really crazy tonight. I don't know what's going on. I'm tired. That's what it is. I'm tired. So, and I'm even showing you the wrong side. But actually, you know what? I kind of dig the wrong side. Do you dig the wrong side? I kind of do. But, so this is the right side. And it is finished. Nothing wrong with the pattern. Nothing wrong with the yarn. Everything wrong. Well, not even wrong with the knitter. But, I mean, sometimes you play the crapshoot in the back alley and you lose. Sometimes that just happens. So, what I'm going to do is when I get the mojo back for it, which I don't think will be long, but when I get my back up, I will take it apart, and I think I'm going to make it 2/3 the size that it is now. I think that will be perfect. Because half as big is a little bit too shawlette-y. And I don't think you'll see the fun, like, contrast and shape that happens. So I think I'm going to just take it apart and just do it 2/3. I might even change up the colors order. I don't know. Maybe I will. I don't know. Just saying. So, you know, sometimes things don't work out like you would like them to. I even like folded it in half and was all like, I could totally just, now it's just super cuddly and I could just almost, I'm not going to get good use out of it like that. That's just not going to happen. So sometimes you just have to recognize that and move on. And this was my gratitude project. It is my gratitude project. I'm not going to say it was because I'm not even upset. Because quite frankly, it's garter stitch. It's so pleasant to knit. It's the Beaverside Dry Goods 2-ply sock in barley heather, rose hip, winter rose hip, and bison. Joyful to knit with. Springy fun garter stitch, which involves me not purling, which I don't know if I've mentioned 8 million times yet. I do not like to do. Fun to do. The last 15 rows are a bit of a slog, but that's going to be the case on any shawl that's not this big. Face it. So yeah, you live, you learn. I'll make that mistake again one day. No big deal. So yeah, it's just going to get taken apart. I'm just not looking forward to taking it. I think the reason I haven't taken it apart yet is I'm just not looking forward to taking it apart because it's got the 3 colors in that bottom part, and it's just going to be kind of a pain to juggle all that while ripping it out. So, we're done. No biggie. Redo. That's the beautiful thing about knitting. Unlike spinning, which you're committed to after you do it. There's no unspinning that stuff. Knitting can be infinitely taken apart unless you're making like something with mohair, which I advise against at all costs. But on a positive note, finished object number 4. Shut up. I'm just trying to make sure I have it on the right side, and I don't. Piper's Journey by the beautiful Paula, Prairie Piper of Knitting Pipeline. Love it. Loved making it. Love how it turned out. On this one, both product and process worked out well. That's all I'm saying. It's a gift, so it will be going out into the universe. But look. I was a little bit nervous. I will confess, I was a little bit nervous about the 2 colors. I love how it turned out. I'm very pleased. So, again, Beaverside 2-ply sock. 3 projects this week, people, with the Beaverside. The red is the choke cherry. The brown is the mink. Love it. Love it. I will be making many more of these. Totally enjoyable. Oh, that lady arm. I don't know. I can't show you how pretty it is because It's two-dimensional, but it's so lovely. I love it. I love it ever so much. It is a gift. I will not keep it. I kill myself over and over again. As it's folded, look how pretty it is. It's just, it looks even pretty folded up in your little treasure chest. Whatever. Crazy face. So that's all my finished projects for this week. Oh my gosh, I just forgot. Oh my gosh, I just saw something I forgot to show you. Corey Knits. No, I Rock Knits, who is Corey, donated. How much do you love it? Hazel Knits in the Chuckanut Drive. Now, let me just tell you, people. Not only are these colors awesome, but when I saw this on her, like, that was one that Corey suggested that she would like to offer as a prize. When I saw it, I was like, oh my God, I love those colors, but that's probably going to look like clown vomit when it's knit up. It doesn't. It totally does fun things when it's knit. I'm not even kidding you. You should go check it out on Ravelry. Just look it up. It's Chuckanut Drive, Hazel Knits, Artisan Sock. It does such fun things when it's knit. And it's gorgeous face. It's like a bromeliad in the jungle. And the rain has made everything glossy and beautiful. I love it. So, get your gratitude on, yo. This is a project. The beautiful blue project bag I showed you last week from the Plover Bird, which is the sister of this project bag, which I am so grateful for this week. And the beautiful, stinking crazy pretty, delirious, that's the colorway, the orange and pink crazy self-striping yarn from Lollipop Yarns. These are the most awesome prizes ever. Just saying. I mean, for my podcast, they're the only prizes, but they're still awesome. Everything else will pale in comparison. So, that was a sidetrack. Sorry, I just thought like glowing over there, and I was like, okay. Finished objects and spinning. I guess I'll show you this one first, because this I was working on last week. This, you saw the singles of this monster. This is 8 ounces of still lanolin-y Cormo Leicester cross. It's still got hay in it. It's a 2-ply. I enjoyed it. It was definitely rustic to spin with, as there is a lot of hay still in here. I have no idea what I'm going to make with this. Literally no clue. Maybe I'll make like felted slippers or something crazy. But I did enjoy it. It was a different experience altogether, the spinning with the lanolin in. And it, I don't know, it was fun. I'll do it again. It's very rustic looking. I still think it would be fun to do a Guernsey wrap. I might still bust it out. I don't have enough yardage. I have 4 ounces. I got about 8 ounces. 400 yards of like a Aran de bulky. So it was very hard to keep it consistent with the, I mean, I have a little bit trouble with the thicker yarns anyway, keeping them very consistent. But especially, I think, with the lanolin, it was challenging to try to maintain any kind of consistency. So, it is, you know, it's not perfect, but something I spin is, so it's rustic. Right. I still like it. And it's very sheepy smelling still. Second thing I made. Spawn, whatever. This is, I tell you, I am the world's worst about leaving things in other places, but I'm just going to tell you about it. Edgewood Gardens. Yes. This is 4.3 ounces of Corriedale in her At the Bird Feeder colorway. I don't know if she really repeats colorways, but if she does. And I spun that, again, I'm just working on getting them like thicker weights, more consistent. This one is definitely not. But it was so fun to spin. I've been spinning fine stuff a lot, so it's fun to do something a little bit thicker because you're like, whoa, I'm totally done with that already. Awesome sauce. And I'm going to make my husband a hat for his birthday. I know it's 85 degrees. He'll hold on to it. So that's what that random spinning was about. And just also the reason I spun it thicker, because I'm totally not knitting a finger wing hat. Oh, la la la. in progress. Low energy. Sorry. Kick it up, baby. Playing something not interesting, but I'm going to show you anyway. Also speaking of my husband and his birthday. Paintings. Croy Socks FX in something about camouflage. Something about camouflage. I remember being the color. Oh, camo colors. Rip sock. Really? He's a size 13 shoe. I think I'm gonna have to buy 6 balls of yarn. But still, 13. I've never actually made him socks before. Not because I don't love him. Because today I do. But because, like, he is really hard on socks. He is a very physical job where he climbs up and down on stuff all the time like a crazy baboon. And he's very hard on socks, so I'm kind of afraid that he'll wear them like twice and I'll get a hole in them. But I'm just going to bite the bullet. We'll try the Croy. It usually does wear very well for me, so we'll hope that they don't get a hole in them in 2 days. Let's see, what time are we at? Ooh, 26 minutes. Next work in progress. The Zuni shawl, which was gifted to me by the lovely Candyland. Zuni shawl. Makewise Designs. I was trying to look for the designer's actual name, but I'm not seeing it, so sorry. Probably Danielle Chalson. Whatever. Zuni shawl out of my handspun. I know it's been a handspun week. I'm knitting with it. Yay! Out of my handspun from my Loop Bullseye Bump in the Desert Sunway colorway. So this is like the middle-ish. There's the edge. Fat arm, sorry. And it goes down here. I'm totally pleased with it. I was concerned. You can see. It's very symmetrical, like that. That's the middle back. I was concerned that in my brain, disease says it is, that very symmetrical pattern worked side to side in a color changing yard would kind of freak me out. Not freaking me out at all. I'm really enjoying it. So I am like almost halfway done. Pretty much halfway done. I weighed my yarn. I'm about halfway done. So I am knitting that. The pattern suggests, the pattern, the designer, whatever, suggests a size, I think 6. I'm gonna guess 6. No, they suggest a 5. I'm actually using a 5, which is very unusual that I would use the same size. But I tried it on a 3, which normally I go down 2 sizes, and this part was like so anemic looking. It was like this big. It looked kind of ridiculous. So I went up to a 5, and I'm enjoying it. And my yarn was a little bit heavier than the fingering weight. It was kind of like a heavy fingering to sport. So I'm very pleased with it. I think my yarn is a little overspun. It was all balanced in the skein, but it feels kind of crispy. So I think my yarn was a little overspun. Don't care. Still enjoying it. And I really like this pattern. It's very fun. And it's almost like modular knitting in that, like, you can see it's like very, like, oh, there's one section, then you move on to this section, then you move on. So it keeps you going, which is very nice. And I love the side to side because there's no like giant crazy 500 stitch row where you're just like, shoot me now. So this is, I think, my first side to side shawl. So I am enjoying that. Lovely pattern, very clearly written. And it's just fun. It's like you do all this little graphic designiness with knits and purls. It's like very old school feeling when you're doing it, but it's so modern looking. I love it. Simplicity is awesome. Next working project. I know, right? I have not even been funny this episode. I just keep talking about the knitting. I'm not even kidding you. I was like, maybe I should parse it out until next week. But what happens if I have another week like this next week, and then I have to talk for like 45 minutes about nothing but the knitting? Hopefully something funny will happen I can talk about next week. Try to work on something funny happening for you people. So I'm doing this pattern, the Amelie. Ooh, I like Emilie. That's totally not what it is. But anyway, I am doing this pattern. It is by Ellen Berglund. It's my first pattern by her, but I'm enjoying it quite a lot. I have this much. But I can't speak to the well-writtenness of the pattern. But I like the way it looks on the people who are wearing it. And they have people of different body sizes that have done it too. So that's, or body types and sizes. So that's good. I just have the ribbing done. I'm not even done with the ribbing, sorry. I have like 2¼ inches. I need 3½ inches. That's a lot of ribbing. I need to lose weight. I'll forget by tomorrow. So this is a pattern that is, I can tell you this much, I'm sure, because I think it probably tells you this in even the description. This is a pattern that is worked, yes, they do tell you this. It is worked in one piece, but not in the round. No, I'm knitting in the round, yo. I'll steek before I will purl any day. So, and it's very easy to convert. No problemos. So I am doing that. And I'm very excited about it. So that is also in the Beaver Slide 2-ply sock. I think I might like their yarn. Just a wee bit. In their Blue Jay colorway. So yay. Modifications to that pattern. Let's talk about that. Or let's talk about like, okay, we'll briefly talk about this. So, you know, like when you're starting to do a sweater pattern, what do you do? What do I do? What I do is you do swatch. I mean, sometimes swatching is like shot in the dark, especially when you're swatching for in the round. You do your best to get an idea. Mainly when I swatch is to just make sure that I like the way the fabric looks on the needle. For example, the pattern is written for a heavy fingering to light sport weight yarn. The 2-ply sock is a sport. So I know automatically that I'm going to have to go down a size, at least, probably, than my normal size, because the gauge is automatically going to be a little bit bigger. So you need to just suck it up, do the gauge, or do a sleeve, whatever, figure it out. And then also, you don't have to pick the same size for the whole sweater, because I have a very big butt. I also have big everything, but disproportionately large butt. I sound like a circus person when I say that. That's not what I mean, but you know, per standard proportions, disproportionately large butt. So I am making the butt up to the waist shaping one size, or I can't remember. Actually, 2 sizes bigger than the rest of the sweater, because that's just the way I'm made. Acknowledge it and move on. So yeah, so the best thing to do is just go through the pattern and highlight, because when you're switching sizes like that, it can result in disaster if you don't pay attention. So just highlight. So, you know, I highlight the hips, and it's very easy to do that because, again, especially when it's all one piece or you're knitting in the round, you only have to remember to do the decreases right the one time, and then you're set. So, yeah, so I'm doing 2 sizes bigger for the butt, and then decreasing more in doing the other size for the top. So hopefully that will work out well. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. I think it'll be fine. It's written for -2 to +2 inches of ease. If you don't know what that is, that just means -2 inches is like if you're a 50-inch bust, it's a 48-inch sweater. If you're +2 inches, it's 50-inch bust, 52 inches of sweater. That's all that means. Nothing complicated. So I'm shooting for in the middle there, towards the positive side. Just 'cause. I don't know why. So anyway, I'll stop talking now. I feel like I'm very discombobulated and confused. I hope this was at least slightly coherent for you. If not, feel free to tell me so, and I'm sure somebody will. Closing thoughts. I didn't buy anything this week. There is no feeding the American economy through yarn purchases or fiber purchases. Yeah, that's all. Yes. Yeah, have a good week. Join the Ravelry group. We have over 400 members now. If you haven't joined, join in, yo. I like to do a head count when we go to the zoo on field trips just to make sure we're all back and accounted for. It's good for me to have a solid number. So join the Ravelry group. write an iTunes review for me or for one of your other favorite podcasters. I really appreciate you all. You have written some really cutie reviews. I personally, I will just say this really quickly. I love the reviews that are like, I'm not sure about this lady, but I think I like her. They crack me up. Some of them are just like straight up positive, which is really cute and wonderful and great. But then the ones that are like, I also really appreciate. I'm a little unusual. I'll give you that. So I really appreciate everybody who's taken the moment to go over and do an iTunes review, either starred or written. Both appreciated. Again, if not for me, one of your other podcasters just helps people find us, make sure that the current shows are coming to the top of the list so you don't find a bunch of chaff when you're really looking for the wheat or germ. Bad bread analogy. Anywho, actually, I guess that's even agrarian analogy. Bad analogy. Anyway, I hope you all have a lovely week. I look forward to hearing from you on the discussion boards or on the blog. All much appreciated. And yeah, Gratitude Cow runs through June 3rd, so get your prizes in. Get your entries in for the prizes. And I'll see y'all next week. Bye.